Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Last time we left off, we're pretty much accusing Luke Atme as the real murderer of Kane Bullard. Pretty much we did that by interrupting a whole nother trial, bringing him out so we can take him to trial here. So that pretty much means that we have to get this right, or Ron is pretty much screwed. So let's go ahead and continue on and see what's going to happen. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive, inside your heart. Nicky boy! Oh, Mr. Light. Mr. Light. Is it true that the detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof, or definite proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard? Oops, it's almost time. We better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gonna happen sooner rather than later. It has to happen sooner. Yeah, this is a pretty ballsy move, what we're doing here. We're accusing someone without any definite proof. But I think Phoenix done that before, so we can try doing okay. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atme, please take the stand. Well, well. How do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. No, not when it would have been given you their perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask the Mask. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask to Mask? Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask to Mask? Of course. Very well then, Luke Atme. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should have ashamed of himself. Should be, what the hell did I just say? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. Yeah, but don't worry. I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. So pretty much it's like, you should know that already. Thanks. Excuse me, I just had a long day. Alright, Mr. Atme, the knives of murder. Speak! We're listening. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. So let's hear what Sir Douchebag has to say. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as Mask to Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be as my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask to Mask was the same time as the murder. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Mask to Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Atme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. I think he's trying to say you're full of it, Nick. And he almost sounded a lot like, dare I say, Franziska von Karma? I wonder what she's up to nowadays. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Alright, so... yeah, let's go ahead and press on some statements here, because... as usual, it's a pretty vague, so... he had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. Why say that? I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lorelei Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was a perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Abney was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lorelei Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. Huh. Maybe it's something we have to watch out for later on. Now, how about this statement? Why not? So by photograph, you mean that this piece of evidence here. Is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed a crime. The very thing that proves you committed a crime. When you think about it, it is really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose.
Objection.
He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. Indeed. It turned out that there was no such thing as a perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. A sad blue melody. It looks like I better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's gotta be something phony in this photo. Huh. Well, what about this statement? The time at which the camera captured Lowe at the same time as murder. Okay. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now! It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered a timestamp on a photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lorelei Taylor. On top of that, it was Lorelei Taylor's staff that printed that data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. It looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious. So, this alibi is false? It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at the KB security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities here. Either the mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Well, let's see. Let me try redoing this statement. There are times where, you press the statement once, and you do it again, and it's like a whole different thing. Right now, something different will happen because I cannot skip through. So, hold on, let me, okay, so lower the temper on the camera's like... Okay, so this is like new stuff here. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard, unless I've had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? And yeah, I think there is. Something that we discovered right before this whole trial started today. So yeah, if you remember correctly, you would know what it is. Are you implying this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this whole picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft even took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well. Very well then, let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? And it's this whole paint stain. If we remember correctly, something else was there. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Ah! Blood! Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly, Your Honor. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents, like some of my professors do. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. I think he understands. Well, Mr. Wright? What is supposed to be in this picture instead of paint stains? And if you remember well, the statue. It was moved by Adrian to cover up the paint stains that she made when she accidentally dropped the urn. It should have been there, but it wasn't here. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. And yeah, here we go, pretty much saying what I said. Arrived at 12. Perfect size to cover up the stains, that's why she moved it. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, that statue should have been there! But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue on the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally? Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it to that distance. Ha! In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue the night of the crime? Well, if we're accusing this person, none other than look at me. The one who moved the statue is none other than look at me. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. And don't call it a delusion. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving a golden statue? Here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Oh, what's going on? Look at me, you pretended to be mask to mask. To create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. That is why you moved the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? And that will be the good old timestamp. And you'll see why here. Naturally, the lie is in this photo as a timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme was at the KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to be at the Lordly Taylor at this time. What is going on? But why does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was the statue placed besides the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Look at Me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Amy must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down in a place where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Look at Me had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match the way it had been in the photo. Gah! Oh. Order! Order! Mr. Atme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off in the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Slorley Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone had been allowed you to tamper with this data. Order! Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Ah, crap, I'm gonna have to pause this real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, be right back. Alright, guys, I am back. I don't think I read this line. Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down! My 11th cup. I promise to drink no more than a 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think you got your points mixed up with your other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied, which is that's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way! Don't fall for that, Your Honor! Hey, Mr. Damask! Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions of Mask Damask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. And we'll get to that testimony next time, guys. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. See you guys later.